Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Numbers, the 6th chapter. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine. So you're consecrating yourself, right? Dedicating yourself for a period of time unto the Lord, right? Under this vow. And what this does is, for this period of time, the main thing, right, that is being really consecrated to the Lord at the end is your hair, right? As we go into it, which is why it's going to tell us you're not supposed to cut it, right? And as long as you remain pure and separated, so will your hair. And that way, at the end of your vow, you can offer that up to the Lord. So, a part of the things to avoid is anything related to the vine, right? Or grapes or anything of that sort. So, as I mentioned here, no wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. So raisins, regular grapes, anything that is derived from the vine or grapes, whether fermented or unfermented, whatever the case is, you cannot have that. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree. See, from the kernels even to the husk, the kernels being the seed, even to the husk, which is the skin of it. All the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled, in the which he separateth himself unto the Lord. So however long you vow, that duration of time, nothing related to, the vine should come into your mouth, and you're not supposed to cut your hair. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of his hair grow. Okay. And that doesn't mean go and get dreadlocks. It just means let your hair grow. Okay. It says all the days, and as a matter of fact, let's look into that while we here. Parai, right, hair, long hair of head locks. Okay. So it's just really talking about your hair, not necessarily any dreadlocks. Verse 6, all the days that he separateth himself unto the Lord Yahweh, he shall come at no dead body, because that defiles you. He shall not make himself unclean for his father or for his mother, for his brother or for his sister when they die, because the consecration of his God is upon his head. So you cannot go to their dead body. You can't get close to it. It doesn't matter who it is, because it'll defile you. All the days of his separation he is holy unto the Lord. And if any man die very suddenly by him, so unexpected, it just happens, somebody just drops dead, gets shot, whatever, he hath defiled the head of his consecration. So regardless whether it was intentional or not, that has, as it says, defiled, right, the head of his consecration. And so this vow is disannulled. Okay. Then he shall shave his head on the day of his cleansing. On the seventh day he shall shave it. Why? Because that event there would make you unclean. And then you would have that, be unclean for 7 days. You'd have that cleansing period of 7 days. And then you and then you would cleanse. Okay. And that's when you would shave off your hair. And we covered that, I believe, in the book of Leviticus when dealing with like the law on being cleansed, right? And the purification of how many days and so on and so forth. It says on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtles, which is referring to turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead. and shall hallow his head the same day. So because you became, you came at that dead body, whether it was intentional or not, you now need that atonement for you. And now you need to begin that vow again. Okay. That's why it says he shall hallow his head the same day. And he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separation. So you set your vow up again, however many days it's going to be, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost. So however long you had already been under this vow, once that defilement happened, those days don't count. You got to start again. Why? Because his separation was defiled. And this is the law of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So now say you're able to go through successfully with it. You accomplish, however long your vow was for. You come to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall offer his offering unto the Lord Yahweh, one he lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and one ewe lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and one ram without blemish for peace offerings, and a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread, anointed with oil, and their meat offering, which is, a grain offering or flour, and their drink offerings. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord Yahweh, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. And he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meat offering and his drink offering. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation, and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. So, that at that point you would shave off all the hair, because all the hair that grew upon your head while you were consecrated is holy, and therefore that would be offered to the Lord. But the hair wouldn't be put on the top of the altar like a burnt offering, where the actual meat and stuff would be burnt and the fat and so on. The hair would go in the fireplace under. That's why it specifies, which is under the sacrifice of the peace offering. So as the peace offering is burning on the top, the hair is thrown into the fire underneath to burn. And the priest shall take the sodden shoulder of the ram. So sodden is like boiled, of the ram, and one unleavened cake out of the basket, and one unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite, after the hair of his separation is shaven. So after he shaved off all his hair, the priest is going to put the shoulder and the unleavened wafer and bread and cake in his hand, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. This is holy for the priest. So after that, the priest would either come and take it from his hand and then wave it, or maybe, hold his hand while waving it. It doesn't specify, but one way or another, he would wave it before the Lord as part of the ritual. This is holy for the priest, so that that part would go to the priest. It would belong to him. With the wave breast and heave shoulder. And after that, the Nazarite may drink wine. So now you're okay to drink wine, eat grapes, and all those things, because your vow is now over. Now, this is the law of the Nazarite who hath vowed, and of his offering unto the Lord for his separation. Beside that, his hand shall get, according to the vow which he vowed. He must so he must do after the law of his separation. So this is how you handle that case. This is what you got to do. This is basically the ordinance you got to follow concerning the Nazarite vow. In the NLT, it says, this is the ritual law of the Nazarites who vowed to bring these offerings to the Lord. They may also bring additional offerings if they can afford it, and they must be careful to do whatever they vowed when they set themselves apart as Nazarites. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them. So now this is going into like this is how you would bless them, right? Like a prayer of a blessing if you were to bless an Israelite or the children of Israel. And this is pretty much the anointing prayer. Okay, Numbers 6 and 24 to 26. That is Ya Baraka Yahweh wa Ya Shamarka, Ya Ar Yahweh Panywa Al Yaka wa Yachanka, Yasha Yahweh Panywa Al Yaka wa Yasham Laka Shalom. All right, and that's basically from verse 24 to 26, which is to say, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Okay, that's the Laka Shalom, peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, i.e., in prayer, right, through this blessing or this anointing, and I will bless them. And that brings us to the end of the book of Numbers, the 6th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodesh. And until next time, Shalom.